guys, welcome back to San Antonio Laser. It's been a while since we have done a student capture, someone who just came through training, so we thought we'd do one with Sean here. Sean Grube actually came to us in December.
Yep.
December for fiber training, and fast forward a couple of months, he's back for CO2 training. What'd you think of the training, man? You just got done with it. How'd it go? I mean, compared to the first one, second one?
It was different going through this one because obviously the class was a lot smaller. It was just me.
You.
So the teacher-to-student ratio was great as far as.
And it's not because we don't have clients. This is a small room, so yeah. If we could get more in here, we would. But
yeah, 2 people would make it a crowded room.
Right.
So,
but it is kind of cool because you get a lot of one-on-one. So it's all about you, right? I guess that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot more technically involved with the CO2 compared to the fiber. So having that time to be able to do that is definitely beneficial.
Yeah, you learn a lot. I mean, you're smashing a lot into a week. So Inkscape EasyCAD, Lightburn, what do you think? How's the comparison?
They're definitely different.
Yeah.
I try finding myself trying to do things on Lightburn that I would
Control Shift K.
Yeah,
Shift K.
Trying to do stuff like that, and it's not working out the same way it used to. But I can see how it would be effective as I get to know the Lightburn a little bit and work with it and how it's going to be beneficial.
It's a little more streamlined. I feel it's more like a finished, software, I guess.
Right. Plus, I don't need to save everything twice, so I have the Inkscape and the EasyCAD version.
Right.
Just save it once. So it's gonna take everything, cut it in half.
No, that's cool. That is cool. So what do you think about what you created this week? How was that? Like just going through that, creative process, and I know you're learning how to do it, but it's also the creative part, like trying to figure out what to burn. I know we're like, what do you want to do next? And I know you had some stuff. It's cool that you brought some things with you too. I mean, I thought that was really important. Most students forget when they come to training, like bring something that you want to do with your business. I mean, that's important too. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had a lot of ideas coming in here as to stuff I wanted to do. One of the things that I've noticed through, your website and some of the other, forums that I follow, there's a lot of like pictures that are involved. So that was one of the big things that I wanted to do while I was here was figure out how I can get that to work in order to do pictures and stuff like that.
Image modes and all that stuff. There's a lot of them to choose from, and they're all going to do something a little bit different. Like the way something looks on wood is going to be completely different on a canvas or something else that you're doing in acrylic or glass.
We tried that out on a few different types of materials to, so I could play with it a little bit, see how it's going to work. Yeah. It was a lot of fun doing that. But yeah, bringing the extra materials is key because when you're here, you're here for a business. Why not bring some real materials that you want to do when you get home? Practice here while you have the help instead of doing it at home when you're by yourself. So.
Right. I think that's important, is like getting just coached through some of those processes. I know we were doing some wood, and you had a plaque you're trying to do for one of your soldiers and stuff. And just so y'all know, Sean is you're still active duty guard, right?
Yeah. My full-time job is through the military, so I fall under active orders.
Yeah. Wow. And you're doing this. I mean, you're a busy dude.
Yeah, I tend to be busy every single day.
Who's helping you get this in the basement when you get back?
I have about 5 or 6 people that I said they would come over to help me get into the basement.
Are they your size or equal?
Some of them are a little bit taller. Some of them are definitely bigger in the arms. So we got some muscle.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, most of them are soldiers of mine.
It's just the stairs. Once you get on the wheels, I mean, it rolls around nice.
Yeah,
it's the stairs. It's always the kicker.
The backyard and the stairs is going to be the trouble, but it should be all right.
So tell me about your business. Like, what spurred this? How did it start? How did it come about? How did you find us? Like, what? How'd that process go?
I started down a path of wanting to work for myself a long time ago. When I moved back to Pennsylvania, I was doing like landscaping, a bunch of different types of jobs like that, and I still wanted to work for myself, but I like creating things. So I ended up on some laser websites, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. I want to do this. I'm also big into firearms, so it started with firearms, and I think that was about 6 years ago. I started looking at different lasers, and I found out how much they cost, and let's just say it took me 6 years in order to get money together, exactly what I wanted to do, stuff like that, until I finally was able to come down here. But the thing that really sold me on SA Laser was these videos. I watched probably 5 or 6 of them, to see different viewpoints, because it's one thing to look at reviews, but everybody likes to put bad comments out there when they can't see you.
Right.
But I
keyboard warriors.
I wanted to see like what are people saying when they're sitting down, and these are people that are successful in what they're doing. I typically don't try to take advice from people that fail at what they're doing, because they didn't do it right.
Right. Yeah.
So like I like to look at those who are successful and say, okay, what did they do to be successful? And then just the knowing that I was going to have the back end support, the training, all that stuff. The only other thing that I ever saw was, I think there was one company that said they'll send somebody like 2 months after I get the laser to, show me how to do it. I was like, that's a non-starter. Okay, that's maybe 2 days if they stay that long. Yeah. But it wasn't going to be anything what I needed. Plus, those lasers were way more expensive. And
I say it all the time. Is there's a lot of companies that will sell you a laser, but it's going to bring you in, show you everything they know, and try to set you up to be as successful as you can be as a business. I mean, that's it's very rare. It's kind of like our that's our thing, right? It's we really do care about people's success. So we even talk about it in class. Talk about it. We do the brand building training and stuff. It's important for people to feel like they've got something behind them, some support system. So
people forget how good the win-win scenario is for everybody. Like I need a laser. It's going to be expensive, but I get the training.
But if we do our job right, you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
And now we've just created another champion, right? A champion of our brand.
Yeah.
And so it's just great. It's great to capture these interviews on camera and just let people know who might be sitting on the fence. I mean, I always say it all the time. Like there's might be, even if it's just 10 people or 100 people, whatever, sitting on the fence. I mean, what would you say to them? Like, how do you communicate your experience to someone like that who's just sitting there watching this video and going, I really want to do this. That's a lot of money. What am I getting for that? Like, what do you say to that guy or girl?
I mean, the first thing that I would say is, make sure you have a game plan. Like, if you're planning on getting a laser but you have no game plan, all you're going to have is a really expensive paperweight, because you're going to get it and then you're going to sit there, well, now what do I do? Right? So have a game plan. Once you have your game plan together, I mean, look at what you're going to get through the different types of companies. If you think this isn't going to be the company you want to purchase through, look at the other one and ask them what they're going to give you. The most they're going to give you is, a salesperson that'll contact you 50 million times a month until you finally say, leave me alone, or I'll buy your laser. I've never had that with SA Laser. I reached out and I said, hey, I'm interested in your lasers. They said, okay. And then I ended up finding out I was deploying. So I was like, hey,
that's right. It was a while before you were on the radar for a really long time, but you just told us, hey, I'm deploying. We're like, cool, let us know when you get back.
Yeah. And I was all the way into like the funding process.
We're military guys too. We're like, that guy's out. He'll be back.
Like I wasn't getting phone calls every month like, hey, you want a laser right now? Like I reached back out and said, hey, I'm able to do it now. Right. So that's a good thing. It wasn't salesy at all. It was, my questions were answered. I didn't have to think too much about it. It was, hey, I have these questions. They were answered for me. I said, okay, can we make this work? You guys said, absolutely. And I came down here, and then, the fiber was great. And then I realized, man, I need the CO2, because there's a lot of money to be made through the CO2 as well, especially with what I'm doing now. So
yeah, it's just that it's that wheelhouse. Like you can do some things, but not other things. But with both, you can almost engrave just about everything. So it is a good thing. Yeah. How did you find us? Like, how did you, you were going through that process of other companies and what do you give and what you're training? Like, how long was that, homework process, I guess?
So when I say I was looking into lasers for 6 years, I was pretty solid into looking for 6 years. The price would make me like, okay, I don't want to look at this right now. And then I'd end up back on it, because once I'm very business minded. So once I see something, I'm like, oh, like I'm out and about, like, oh, I can make this work as a business, or I can do something like this. And I think what it was is I stopped looking at companies online, and I started looking at I knew there was different types of lasers, and I wanted to find out what they could do, so I knew what laser I could get, because I didn't want to get the wrong one first.
Right. Yeah.
And going through those videos, I'm pretty sure that's how I found you guys was on YouTube through one of your videos, and then I ended up looking into the company, reading some of the reviews, looking at the projects that are on the website, and then really going into your on the road that you did.
Yeah, on the road.
And I went through probably 5 or 6 of those videos, just watching those, and I was like, okay.
And some of those are really long, so you were cruising YouTube for a while, because I think Will's video is probably 30 minutes. I think some of them are.
Yeah, well,
they're long. When
you're entrepreneurial and you have nothing, you put time into it.
That's true.
That's what I am. It was I needed to sink my teeth into something that I could really do for myself, in order to work for myself, and that time was nothing. I was going to spend it on Facebook or Instagram, whatever. Anyway, so I decided to spend it on YouTube, educating myself.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. A good friend of mine told me that was, right before, because I had the arcade. Right before I opened the arcade, he told me, the guy who punches a time clock will never be wealthy. It's the guy who owns a time clock, right? Mm-hmm. So that's you. I mean, I and there's probably 100 people watching this video that are in that same, mindset or that entrepreneurial spirit. They might be working for somebody, but they have this passion. Like, I wish I could do my own thing. And sometimes it's just that leap of faith. And I guess what we provide is that it's that win-win success rate. Like, it's very high. Like, a lot of our students that come out here, they're just so successful. I mean, we had this guy Ryan last week. He got his finished on Friday, drove his laser home, and he's like north of Houston somewhere. He called me Monday. He's like, man, I already got a big order. It's amazing, dude. Yeah, I get excited for those people, because it's like, man, that's for us. That's the to fruition moment. It's like, this guy's gonna make it. So yeah, it's exciting. I'm excited for you too, man. I know you got both lasers, so you can pretty much do engrave just about anything.
Yeah, that's pretty much the goal. Is I was really struggling when people say, hey, can you do this? And I have to be like, no, I can't. Realistically, I can't.
They show you something on TikTok, you're like, well, that's really cool, but I can't do it.
Yeah. So this should eliminate that, and every conversation I have at this point should be a yes, I can do that.
Yes, I can do. Here's what I can't do. Right? Yeah. Well, Coach Sean, where can we find you? Where can people find you if they need something engraved?
So I have a business Facebook set up, Archangel Creations. It's set up on Facebook, Instagram, and I do a few videos on TikTok here and there. I don't have a website set up yet. I'm trying to find what I can put on there in order to sell. Mm-hmm. But right now, through my social media is where I can be found.
Awesome. Well, we'll put those links in the video too, so if somebody's in your area. You're in Pottsville?
Yeah, I'm up outside of Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. But I'm gonna come see you in a couple of months so we can go to Ton Tavern.
Absolutely.
Check it out. All right, man. Appreciate it, Sean. Thanks for doing this. You. Hey, guys, if you want some more information about our lasers, www.salasers.com. You can always call us too, 1-888-964-3568. We do have people here. I mean, we're not a big company, but if you have questions about lasers, we'll get you some answers. I mean, it is kind of a sticky market, and it's a little bit deceptive. Call us. We'll tell you the truth. Even if you don't buy our laser, at least you'll have the right information. All right, guys. Till the next video. See you next time. It's like good.